Local 4 News starts now with a severe weather alert.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, we are tracking the potential for severe thunderstorms. The biggest threats right now, damaging winds, possible hail, and heavy downpours. Meteorologist Brett Collar has been on the air keeping you posted. Joins us now with the very latest. Brett.
Yeah, Storm Tracker 4 hard at work today as we've had a number of severe thunderstorm warnings and also one tornado warning, all of which have expired. No warnings currently in effect. We still, though, have that watch until 8 p.m. this evening. Likely, though, going to see that lifted earlier than that time period. Downriver, all the thunderstorm activity off to the east. But those of you up in and around the Port Huron area still seeing some very heavy rain falling at the moment. These storms have had a little bit of rotation, or what we call shear. One of those prompted that tornado warnings earlier this afternoon. But again, at the moment, it's really just some very heavy rain. There is still the potential there for some hail and, of course, quite a bit of lightning as well, but no severe weather. All this heavy rain in and around the Lakeport area is basically moving offshore as we speak. But officially still have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 8 p.m. this evening. There is a second line of showers that have developed back out to the west. Worth noting, though, that this is moving into an air mass that's been worked over. So we'll track it for you and talk about what the weekend has in store, all coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you, Brett. Well, a family on Detroit's west side is mourning this afternoon the loss of a 12-year-old boy. Police say he was shot when a group of kids were playing with a gun last night. It happened inside a home on Bramall near Outer Drive in Plymouth. Investigators say the kids were performing some kind of social media skit when that gun went off. We're told one adult was asleep upstairs. The child who died has been identified as 12-year-old Kenyon Davis. Police tell us his 13-year-old cousin is suspected of accidentally pulling that trigger. Neighbors are stunned by the child's death.
He was too young. We've got children of our own, and I just couldn't imagine if I was to lose one. I don't think I could survive it, you know. I can't imagine what the parents are going through.
Well, there is a vigil being held for the family tonight, and we will be joining crews on the scene later on today on Local 4 News at 5. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has signed her fourth state budget, giving both Democrats and Republicans something to celebrate in this election year. The bipartisan agreement totals $76 billion. Whitmer points out it doesn't raise taxes at all, but lawmakers were also unable to agree on any kind of tax relief. The Republican chairman of the Appropriations Committee, Jim Samesex, says the budget focuses on economic growth while the state is still living within its means. The rainy day fund has been boosted to an all-time high of $1.6 billion. Meantime, the future of Michigan's minimum wage is up in the air after a ruling from a court of claims judge. That happened late yesterday. The Republican-led state legislature is reviewing the ruling, and a potential appeal could slow the impact. The judge ruled the state legislature had no right to amend laws it passed on the minimum wage and sick leave back in 2018. Now, depending on how this all plays out, Michigan's minimum wage could jump from $9.87 an hour to $12 an hour. Tonight at 6, business editor Rod Maloney digging into the ruling, the possible impact, and what comes next. First Lady Jill Biden is scheduled to arrive in Detroit in the next 30 minutes. She is coming to town to focus on summer learning as students are recovering from setbacks during the COVID pandemic. She's traveling with Education Secretary to highlight how they say the American Rescue Plan is helping those efforts. So tomorrow she's going to visit a school in Detroit, and we are going to have full coverage when you join us on Local 4 as well as clickondetroit.com. Today, President Joe Biden is turning his focus to cleaner energy and tackling climate change. The president says if Congress won't act, he's moving ahead because he believes we can't wait any longer.
So let me be clear. Climate change is an emergency. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to use the power I have as president to turn these words into formal, official government actions through the appropriate proclamations, executive orders, and regulatory power that a president possesses.
Among the president's goals, he'll direct his administration to clear the way for more clean energy options to connect to the power grid. He's also pushing for more offshore wind farms. 16 days after a shooting rampage at a 4th of July parade, the U.S. Senate focused on mass shootings today. The mayor of Highland Park, Illinois, was among the witnesses on Capitol Hill. And some Republicans wondered if there's too much focus being put on the weapons. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom with some of today's testimony. Kim?
Karen, good afternoon to you. Mayor Nancy Rodering was at the parade in Highland Park when 7 people were killed and dozens wounded on the 4th of July. She opened her testimony describing the carnage and reminding people of the terror and despair on that day. Listen to one story about a mother and daughter.
We now know that 22-year-old Cassie Goldstein told her mom, Katie, to run, but Katie was hit in the chest. And Cassie had to tell her mother she loved her, but she couldn't stop because bullets were still flying. She kept running to safety, hiding behind a garbage can. And when the shooting stopped, Cassie returned to find her mother lifeless.
Recent shootings in Highland Park, Uvalde, Texas, and Buffalo, New York have reignited the debate over a possible ban on assault weapons. Supporters say there's no need for civilians to have rifles with high-capacity magazines. Opponents, though, point out gun violence continues to be a problem in communities with some of the toughest gun laws, including Highland Park, which passed new restrictions after the school shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary. Highland Park's mayor has a simple response to that claim.
Local governments cannot do this alone. Congress must take action. You must federally ban assault weapons and large-capacity magazines. Today is the day to start saving lives.
One of the things I worry about is the focus on the firearm that we've heard so far deflects our attention from other places where I think we could make a substantial difference. Things like focusing on the criminals that committed 836 homicides last year in Chicago alone.
President Biden signed new gun safety legislation just 8 days before the shooting in Highland Park. He called the new law just the beginning. Senate Democrats hope hearings like this one might start to persuade minds on the subject. The big question, though, can lawmakers find more common ground in the future? So, Karen, it's a debate we'll continue to follow for you. Until then, we'll send it back to you.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you, Kim. U.S. House has approved legislation to protect same-sex and interracial marriages amid concerns those rights could be in jeopardy. We were waiting for the vote yesterday. Hours later, the final tally was 267 to 157, with all the votes against coming from Republicans. 47 members of the GOP, including Wyoming's Liz Cheney, joined Democrats to support putting marriage equality into federal law. Now, the Respect for Marriage Act heads to the Senate, and it is not clear if it can pass the evenly divided Senate. Democrats are pushing the legislation, hoping to draw a comparison between the parties heading into midterms. Well, they're at it again. Hungry deer turning our pretty landscaping into salad bars. Paula Tutman is going to show you the video of the wildlife that she actually caught on camera annihilating her backyard plants. It sent her looking for answers that many of us are also struggling to find as deer turn up their noses at our efforts to keep them away.
Caught red-handed, fawn alert. And before you say, oh, so cute, look what it did to the hostas. Yep. This is video I captured outside my back door this morning. And Nicole has the same problem in Lathrop Village.
Obviously, when you walk out and they're, down to the ground, you just kind of have to, to deal with it, I guess.
These are my imperial hostas, and they are fabulous. Big, leafy, amazing, full. I've been growing them for I think maybe 5 years or so. And I have been treating them, but this is what that little varmint has been doing. Lance DeVoe is the naturalist for Rochester Hills.
It's a combination of things, lack of habitat, their natural habitat where they would be able to feed in the woods and in the fields and things like that. And so homeowners have been seeing a large number of deer that come into their yards and feed on their landscaping.
He says deer have gotten wise to humans. And though we've come up with a variety of non-toxic, non-poisonous favorites to keep the villains at bay, like Nicole, who lives in Auburn Hills.
You gotta plant marigolds around like your fruit and your vegetable plants because it's bitter to them and they don't want to eat it. Same with bunnies.
Lance says deer will get used to those sage, aged old remedies. And so you have to actually employ rotation strategies this year.
Just changing those strategies so the deer don't get used to it, and after a while they become what we call habituated.
So say for instance you use Critter Ritter, sprayer pellets. After it rains, alternate it with something like Uncle Ian's. And after the next rain, try Plant Skid or any other cayenne pepper spray or another product, just to keep new and fresh, nasty tasting stuff on your plants without giving deer an opportunity to get used to them. So normally homeowners are also told to try to shoo and scare away the deer, but this is baby deer season. It's fawn season. And that means mama deers can be very protective and very aggressive. And we're being told that right now it is not safe to approach them in any way lest you become the victim. Paula Tutman, Local 4.
All right, some good advice, Paula. We appreciate it. By the way, Michigan State University has a great resource. It's called Fact and Fantasy, where it dispels myths about protecting your landscaping from hungry deer. We're going to put a link on our website, clickondetroit.com, so you can check that out.